Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Swampy Comics. I'm Swampy, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a late new comic tier list. Had a delay in recording because I was having some heating issues at my house, and then yesterday I did some comic shopping, going through the back bins and whatnot, and ended up finding one of my personal grails. This is Green Lantern number 16 from 1962. And oh man, I'm beyond stoked to have it. It's a key issue. The first appearance of Carol Ferris as Star Sapphire, who's one of my favorite characters. And yeah, it's all mine now. And the oldest comic I own, taking over Commandy #1 by 10 years. So that's kind of a cool landmark for me, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. But speaking of Green Lantern, let's get right into the comics this week and throw them up on a tier list. We got Absolute Green Lantern number 8, a brand new story starting here, as it says on the cover, by Al Ewing, with art and colors by Janoy Lindsay and letters by Lucas Gattoni. And in the beginning of this story arc, we are completely focusing on Jo and her history, her relationship with her father, how she ended up in what is it, Evergreen? I'm already forgetting the name of the town because we're kind of out of there now. But yeah, we're yeah, Evergreen. That's right. But yeah, we're meeting or reintroducing some of the characters that we met through the first story arc. Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, John Stewart. Their absolute versions, of course, and even a little more of Cameron Chase at the end of this issue. But we get to meet the absolute version of Renee Montoya, who's currently the Question in the DC universe, as well as William Hand, absolute William Hand, Black Hand, quote unquote, from main DC lore. And it's pretty cool. We see how Jo is kind of standing up to this corrupt police chief Hand who's extorting the town of Evergreen week after week, with John Stewart seemingly the only one who's going to stand up to him, and he gets in jail for that. We see that her father is a stoic, restrained kind of individual, and her relationship with him isn't exactly, all warm and roses. And not only that, but we see how meeting Renee Montoya kind of introduces her and opens her up to the idea that, oh yeah, I'm into girls, and then later on she gets with Cameron Chase and ends up cheating on her with Renee, and it's a mess. Jo has made her life a mess, and it's really cool to see that. And it's the same reason I really like Hal Jordan, for example. I mean, he's a messy guy. He's not good at relationships, and it's not a thing that comes natural to everybody. I certainly used to not be, but I feel like I am now. I've been in a great relationship for about 9 years now, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. But yeah, man, it's really cool to see the portrayal of Jo Mullein as imperfect. I like seeing imperfect heroes with messy personal lives, but in a realistic way. Not just darkness and tragedy like somebody like Frank Castle, although I love the Punisher and all that. But yeah, I love this portrayal of Jo Mullein, and Absolute Green Lantern. It just keeps on getting better and better, issue by issue. So yeah, I really love this. This is firmly going at 8 here. Really, really enjoyed this issue, and I can't wait to get to know these characters more. Yeah, exciting stuff. But next up, we got another Absolute book, Absolute Superman number 13. This is written by Jason Aaron, with art by Rafa Sandoval, colors by Ulysses Ariella, and letters by Becca Carey. And oof, let me just take a little sip here, because that sip was refreshing, like it was to read this comic book. Jesus, Absolute Superman really, it's always been good, but started off as kind of like the middle of the pack Absolute book, and it with the last few issues, it just keeps on pumping and getting bigger and more hopeful, and our characters are kind of falling into place to kind of, more who we know them as, but not totally just all of a sudden Lois is now like, I'm gonna go be a reporter at the Daily Planet. But it's God, man, this was good. The Battle of Smallville is here. Lazarus Corp has invaded Smallville, Kansas, and the people of the town are not standing by and taking it lightly. We kind of get a flashback of over the last 6 days how Kal-El has been helping the people of Smallville prepare for this, uh, trying to keep them safe and fight off Lazarus Corporation. We see Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, despite what I said earlier about them, not going to work at the Daily Planet, but kind of falling into that role of reporter and photographer, trying to let the world know about what's going on with what Lazarus Corp is doing, and because it's said in this book that they've shut down any communication out of Smallville, so the people can't let the Lazarus Corp can just do this and walk away from it and just, I don't know what happened, like, because there's gonna be no record of it because they're that evil. And oh, I love seeing it. And what it gets me most excited about this message is who's gonna pick it up. We got a bunch of other characters in the Absolute Universe that we're reading books about. Who's gonna pick up this message? I can't wait because as we see Kal-El fight against Lazarus Corp, he is kind of bested at the end. Soul is hacked by Brainiac, and that is not good. Soul is literally physically protecting the people of Smallville, and oof, yeah, um, very, very not good. I don't know how we're gonna resolve this. And not only that, but we end the issue with Ra's al Ghul standing over Superman with a gigantic sword made out of kryptonite. I'm just wondering, like, yeah, how are we gonna get it? We know it's not ending with issue 14, so I don't know. This was the best issue of this comic by a long shot. Like, there's been so many good issues, but this one stands uh ahead, above, and beyond all the previous issues. This was great. It's an S tier book. This is great. We are really falling into place with who these characters are, and it's a great feeling. Really great stuff. Let's take it down a notch. Go to Amazing X-Men #2. This is written by Jed McKay with art by Mahmoud Asrar, colors by Matt Wilson, and letters by Clayton Cowles. This is second issue of X-Men coming into the Age of Revelation, and yeah, this was a disappointment, man. Like, the first issue of this, I was like, okay. I mean, I kind of decided that I wasn't impressed by a whole lot with Age of Revelation, and there's so many DC books and many other Marvel books that I enjoyed more than this. So I was just gonna stick with Amazing X-Men, and after this one, I'm just passing. I'm dropping this. This was so disappointing. At the end of issue 1, we get this reveal of a big old demon juggernaut with magic possessed by the Dark Child, and obviously what we think is probably going to be a pretty big fight. We get a tiny bit of fighting at the beginning of the issue, but then Magic decides to square up with Cyclops, and that's where this issue just totally fucking falls apart. Yeah, they have a battle of truths. They have the most tame and weak diss battle I've ever seen, and it is like these hard truths are like blowing Cyclops back, and um this was the dumbest thing I've read in a minute. Like, this was so crap. And then that Cyclops, actually, you can't hurt me with your truths. Yeah, because I already know them, even though they were just hurting him. And then all of a sudden you get this reveal that, oh, yeah, but I know that, when you brought past me here, you sent future me in the back to actually do the things that you said you were bringing me here to do. But I already knew all that. So why didn't you tell us in the first issue? Why wasn't that in a thought bubble? This was just shit. I hated this. It's so disappointing. The only thing saving it from F tier is the art. The art was great. So yeah, this is D tier. I was so bummed. I really wanted to enjoy this. It doesn't make me happy to be so irritated at this comic, but it sucked. And there's only one more issue to wrap this stuff up. So I don't even know what we're doing. This is so pointless and annoying. We're moving on. All right, Batman #3. This is written by Matt Fraction with art by, oh, I'm on the wrong page here. Art by Jorge Jimenez, with colors by Tamil Mori, and letters by Clayton Cowles. Um, yeah, here we are picking up at the end of issue 2. There's a, is it a cop that's been shot? Or or just a person. I believe it's a cop, but yeah. Yeah, this issue's doing a lot. Not as strong as the last 2 issues, I'll just say right off at the top, but I really liked this. This, Matt Fraction realizes. I think he knows exactly what he's doing here, and I think he has a great plan involved. And I think when we look back on issues like this, it's gonna be part of the puzzle. It's just like, so good. And there were heights to this. There was no really lows to this. It's just the last 2 issues were so perfect to me. And this one was a little more like, clearly we're setting up a lot, not necessarily the contained stories that we got in issue 1 and 2. But with that being said, we're pulling a lot of strings here. Vandal Savage is setting up the city and the cops against Batman by framing him for this murder I was talking about earlier. We have this weird helmet that Riddler is trying to steal that um, Dr. Annika Zeller may be using on patients in Arkham. Um, and Hugo Strange is popping up, and Riddler is trying to steal this helmet, and somebody's making him do it. And it's like almost like he doesn't want to, and he can't. Like, this is the best part of this issue. Oh, well, besides the fact that it looks like we're sending Damian off to college, so that's great. We won't be dealing with him much more. He's my least favorite Robin, so I'm cool with that. But yeah, the best part was I love this portrayal of the Riddler. Um, for half a second, it reminded me of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, because he's just telling Batman all these riddles, and Batman's answering him, and he's like, "What's going on? Like, what's your problem, dude?" And Riddler like pulls out this little piece of paper, and like, I thought it was gonna be like the card from Joker that's like, "I have a disease. I cannot. I randomly riddle and I can't help it." But it was, yeah, kind of like that. It was a note telling him like, I can't stop this. And yeah, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes and where this fits into the big puzzle, because we do get Batman tearing off to Arkham Asylum, presumably to confront Annika Zeller about some of this stuff. And yeah, it's really cool. Oh, and also the thing of this kid Huston witnessing the actual murder that Batman is being framed for, and having footage that it wasn't Batman. And yeah, we're setting up a lot here, a lot of pieces to knock down later on. But this issue was a lot of setup, and I'm fine with that. But most setup issues don't necessarily hit the ceiling. So this is B tier, but a capital B for Batman, like B plus. This was almost an A, but I'm just being honest with how I felt about it. I can't glaze everything as much as I want to sometimes. I'm a pretty enthusiastic fan, and that happens. But anyway, let's talk about more Batman. Next up, we got DCKO Knightfight #1, a story entitled Die to Fight Another Day. And this one is by Joshua Williamson, with art by Dan Mora, colors by Triona Farrell, and letters by Tom Napolitano. Yeah, what a great creative team. I love when these two worked together on Superman. And this was a really cool and fun story that is very fan servicey for Batman fans or DC fans in general. But since Batman's not going to be in the DCKO tournament, you got to have him doing something. Like Wally West is off doing his own thing. The Titans are off doing their own thing. Not everybody's in the tournament. Batman thought he was going to be in the tournament, but Joker killed his ass. That was pretty cool in DCKO #1. And but Batman being forever the god of strategy, has a way to escape. He was wearing apocalyptic armor that had boom tube equipped technology. And I don't know, I've not heard this mentioned by anybody, but it was pretty clear to me that old Bats was pulling a Mr. Miracle. Apocalypse in technology like escape technology built into the suit. You know, the whole ping ping with him coming out of the statue. And not only that, but the kind of iconography of the above his symbol on the suit. You see the two little circles with the little connecting gold zigzaggy thing. I mean, that's he's so Mr. Miracle coded right here. I love it. And yeah, this is just Batman. We go from Batman thinking in the past to reflecting on how cool his Robins are and how proud he is of his sons to him boom tubing out of this statue that he has been killed into by the Joker, and then ending up in a weird future Gotham where Dick Grayson has taken the mantle of Batman and has like a legion of Robins behind him, and yeah, one hell of a fight and a battle of words between these two, and it's really cool to see. I didn't think I would enjoy Knightfight as much as I would. I'm already said I was going to buy everything DCKO because I am all in on this event. Hopefully, it doesn't Age of Revelation me at any point, but I don't think it will. But yeah, this was great. It had so much heart for being a weird little like in a weird like mental space or different plane of reality or whatever we're doing here, wherever the DCKO tournament is. They're not even really explaining it, that it's so cosmic and obscure and weird. I just love that we're getting this kind of heart and storytelling from DCKO amidst all the crazy chaos. And not only that, but a bunch of kick-ass action scenes and you know, a lot of talk back from Dick Grayson to Batman here, and yeah, this was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. So I'm gonna say both Bat books are going B tier. This wasn't perfect, and it very much is a take it or leave it kind of book if you're into DCKO. I mean, if you're a Batman fan, it's a must read. But you know, yeah, this can totally sit on the outskirts, and Batman could just show up later, and you can be like, "Well, yeah, of course he did. He's Batman." You know, it's fine. But yeah, a lot of fun to be had. I can't wait to see more of Dan Mora's perfect art in this book. Yeah, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Next up, we got GI Joe number 13. Our second book in a row by Mr. Joshua Williamson, with art by Tom Riley, colors by Jordi Belair, and letters by Russ Wooten. And how to set this up, because I have no setup. This is my first issue of GI Joe that I've read in this run, and I felt right at home. They eased me right in. I'm not sure totally what's going on the big picture, but I felt like I didn't need to know, and I felt like I'm going to get there pretty easy through this Dreadnought War, this 5-part series that I believe I heard is coming out bi-weekly. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, man, this is great. Duke like and Cobra Commander teaming up together against the Dreadnoks while Destro's taking over um, Cobra itself. And this put me right back to eating Lucky Charms sitting on the floor on a Saturday morning in 1991 or two. I'm old, but this was great. I loved this. This is how you do a book. This is how you like in the middle. And there's another one this week that we'll get to. But this is how you introduce new readers to the middle of a run. Like I didn't feel lost at all. I felt just eased right in, and we're off to the races, and my seatbelt has been buckled for me, and we're already going before I knew it. Like this was fantastic. This issue of GI Joe is going straight to A tier. Loved it. Really good stuff. But yeah, next up, a real fun book, Harley and Ivy: Life and Crimes #1. This is by writer, artist, colorist Erica Henderson, with letters by Hussein Atzman Al-Haw. Um, yeah, the origin of Harley and Ivy falling in love. I'm not like a Harley Quinn guy. Um, I really like Margot Robbie's portrayal in the movie The Suicide Squad, and I think Injustice Harley Quinn's pretty cool. But you know, she can be a little much sometimes for some, and I might be one of those. Um, but I loved this. This read like a sweet, but you know, realistically dark portrayal of falling in love, and in Harley's case, coming out of an abusive relationship with one of the worst people ever, aka the Joker. And Yeah, it was kind of told in this way where it's almost like they're looking through the comic book and narrating what's happened. No, you did this here. You said, it's um yeah, really unique, really fun and lighthearted, but also full of heart. And I am in the middle, well, not in the middle. I'm at like issue 7 of reading G. Willow Wilson's Poison Ivy run, and I am definitely becoming more and more a fan of that character in a big way. The more and more I read of that, so I'm going to continue on with this. I thought this was really great and really fun. Yeah, we're going to go beach here with this. It's good, very good. It's been a good week, except for that one at the bottom there. But anyway, next up, another number 13. We got JSA number 13, subtitled JSA Year 1, Chapter 1. This is by writer Jeff Lemire with art by Gavin Guthrie, colors by Luis Guerrero, and letters by Steve Wands. And this is great. I've never read a JSA book. I kind of just know about them through their appearances in other big DC events, and just that kind of pedigree they hold in the history of DC. But this was cool. This was so good. Um, didn't feel like an issue 13. Felt like an issue 1, much like, well, not so much like the GI Joe. The GI Joe definitely felt like I'm coming into the middle of the run, but they're easing me right in and putting me right in there. And this feels like a number 1. You can start here with knowing nothing about these guys, and you're getting the origin of this team in one of their earliest, crime or crime solving things, cases. There we go. And yeah, it's really great. There's clearly a big conspiracy against them afoot. Um, it's in a place where the U.S. has not joined World War II yet, so the JSA haven't come together over that quite yet. And yeah, I mean, we see just plain clothes living normal life versions of like Carter Hall and Alan Scott and Jay Garrick, and not so much Wesley Dodds, just wearing his gas man all the time, Mr. Inspiration for Rorschach. But yeah, man, this was so good. And um, just Gavin Gudry's art, he's like, it was just so expressive and good. Like, especially the dinner scene with Alan Scott and what's that guy's name? Gosh, the guy um that that is dead by the end of the is it Gordon? Yeah, Gordon. I think it's Gordon. But yeah, I mean, just that last page was so good. With the reveal of Alan Scott going into costume fighting Gordon dead, and that dinner scene between the two of them was so great and so well done with the faces, and the writing's all on point. I loved this. Um, this was perfect for me. S tier book. JSA number 13 is an S tier book for sure. Next up, we got Planet She-Hulk number 1. This is by artist Rod. Wait, there we go. Sorry, League was giving me the wrong line of credits there. Here we go. This is by writer Stephanie Phillips, with art by Aaron Cooter, colors by Sonia Obeck, and letters by Joe Caramagna. And here we are kind of picking up after the events of Imperial, I guess, is what I understand. And yeah, this was great. This was so good. I had so much fun reading this. It threw me right in to not knowing anything about what's been going on. Like, this felt like this is another one of those. This is how you do a number 1. Um, a lot of like it was just so on point with She-Hulk being kind of fun and irreverent like Jennifer Walters is. But you also felt like the reason she was there was very organic and not just like, well, you're probably wondering how I got here, huh? Like, it was very much like, oh no, it totally makes sense. One of Hulk's sons is dead, and he's got to go take care of stuff. And so she's got to watch over Sakaar and deal with a lot of the kind of intrigue that goes on with all the ruling parties of Sakaar. And yeah, I thought it was really cool. We're just setting up for a really cool Planet Hulk style adventure here, and I'm all here for it. I have no complaints about this book. I don't have a single complaint about it. It was funny when it needed to be. The action parts were cool. I thought the aliens were all really fun and unique. Little chicken men and all that. Yeah, it's an A tier book. It was great stuff. And see, next up, we have Star Trek Red Shirts number 4. This is written by Christopher Cantwell with art by Megan Levins, colors by Charlie Kirchhoff, and letters by Jody Troutman. And in this issue, we have our 4 remaining Red Shirts taken prisoner on a, or no, there's 5. There's 3 of them still on the planet trying to get a ship out of a swamp, but the other 2 have been taken prisoner by Klingons who are wondering what they're doing with these Romulans who have been spying on the Klingon transmissions, because if they're there, then it means Starfleet's spying on the Klingons, and there's a peace treaty, and that's not honorable or supposed to be a thing, so what the hell's going on? And this is just, again, this is a perfect Star Trek series. Like, I just am over the moon about this book and how well it's done. How like there's fist pumping moments with the our characters getting one up on the guys. There's sacrifices that are made. Of course, more of our red shirts don't make it out of this intact, and it's all earned and well done. This is like one of those trades. When it comes out in trade, I'm going to be buying this for the Star Trek fans in my life. Like, this is just so fun and good and gritty. And I say it every time that an issue of this book comes out. But this is the penultimate one. We only got one more after this, which bums me out. I really hope we get more chapters of this Red Shirt series, because I think the formula is an absolute winner. The art's great. The writing's great. It's just, and the colors even are muted enough to not make it look bland or silly, but it does very much like feel like the tone of the old show. Like, it's just so good. So yeah, I'm honestly another S tier book. I thought this was perfect. Like, I'm really high on Red Shirts. Like, I can't get enough of it. I'm so bummed it's ending after the next issue. But as for our comic of the week, I think I'm going to have to go for Absolute Superman number 13. This book really upped the game, upped the stakes, upped the hope of, you know, just the feeling of hope in the Absolute universe. This universe that's just naturally bent towards pain and strife and evil. Um, we're hitting our stride here with this book. This is so good, and with if you're one to read solicits a couple issues ahead, and you don't mind spoilers, go ahead. But I'm really excited for issue 15 for what I saw on the cover and how we're getting there. I'll just say it that way. But yeah, what a week! What a week! There was only one bummer book, and it was a shame that it was a bummer. I get no, like, I grew up on X-Men, and I'm so bummed that it's the Marvel thing that I'm enjoying the least right now. Between Weapon X-Men and this Age of Revelation event. Thankfully, I liked Wolverines and Deadpools, and I wish I was current on like the Wolverine and Deadpool story or the Wolverine solo comic. But yeah, we'll try again maybe when Jed McKay steps away. I just maybe don't think I'm a fan of what he's doing, and if you are, that's great too. But anyway, I would like to hear what you have to say about that or any of these other comics. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Give a like and a subscribe. That always helps. I like knowing that people are watching what I'm doing. It's a good feeling to have this hobby and see that I average like 40 views on videos or less, makes me happy. It's pretty cool. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll be back in a few days with our preview for next week's, or I guess technically this week's comics, huh? But until then, thanks for watching and keep reading. Talk to you later. Bye.